The two big questions of the Calgary Flames offseason. What do you do with Johnny Gaudreau? What do you do with Matthew Tkachuk? We discussed that on Monday's Shifts and Pucks podcast.
Yeah. Which I guess that leads to the final two questions. The two big questions in the Flames offseason. The first one is Johnny Gaudreau. Um, Blake Coleman says you lobby. It was asked this week if you or do you lobby players to say, and he said you do if his name is Johnny Gaudreau. I'm leaning towards my belief that he is going to sign. I think it's going to take 10 to do it, but I think they're going to get it done.
That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt because there's going to have to be surgery elsewhere in that roster to make it happen. Because I think Tkachuk's back next year.
Well, this is where the question becomes, and I put the poll out: do you trade him now? I guess the question is how can you convince Johnny to do 9 or 8 and make? Let's go back to Johnny for a second. Because a lot of people are, what I'm hearing from everybody that is in the know is he took a hometown friendly discount last time. He's not going to take a hometown friendly discount this time. But the counteract to that would be, if some people have put him, some people think he's a future captain with this team. If with the same argument that we've had about JT Miller, about Matthew Tkachuk, about some other players, if he's a leader, he should take a little bit less for the Flames to make those improvements. Is that a fair expectation from him? I don't feel that it is with Johnny because I think he's earned the right to explore his options.
I look at that and I think it is. I think it is unfair to ask him because he doesn't have. They don't have the build up. Had the Flames built more steadily and less volatilely from 2019 through till now, I think it'd be a much more reasonable expectation. But they lost out in the first round to the Avs in 2019. 2020 is a bit of a write-off, just clusterfuck of a year. But they couldn't get past Dallas in the quote-unquote first round of the bubble playoffs. Then they missed the playoffs in 2021. And now you lose. You take way too long to dispatch the Dallas Stars in round 1. And then you lose in 5 and on home ice to the arch rival Oilers. It's just I think it's too volatile of a history for Gaudreau to say, yeah, I believe in this, in where we're going here, to take a significant quote unquote hometown discount to do that. And that's why, like, if they can convince them, man, that's a coup for them. But I don't expect it, and I think you will see, unless they do go 10, I think you'll see Johnny test UFA in July.
As a non-Flames fan, sorry, Kev. As a non-Flames fan, like, I personally, like, whoever the most likely guy to want to sign back in Calgary, I would sign him and then try and get as much as you can for the other guy. Because to me, especially with the cap crunch that a lot of teams that are in the playoffs are expected to make the playoffs, like, all of them are cap strapped. So there's no easy, fun solution where you can keep both realistically, in my mind. So yeah, basically you take the one that's willing to stay, pay him whatever he's essentially willing to take, and then try and get as much cap space to free up with the other one.
Yeah,
I think they can keep both, but it's going to be a lot. They're going to have to find different ways to free up cap space elsewhere. Whether that is moving a Mangiapane, whether that is attaching an asset to move Lucic and or Monahan.
I was going to say, like, how hard is it going to be able to move Monahan right now? Because, like, that's probably the most ideal guy that you want to get rid of to free up cap space, just due to his injury history and whatnot and how he's played the last couple of years. But yeah, I don't think that's an easy contract to move right now.
Well, just on the way, just to point out something that Sean said here, just about you lost on home ice. Had that controversial goal not happened, that would have been more of a bigger conversation than it was. It was, if the Flames losing on home ice, I think they were very almost fortunate that goal didn't count, because I think that was more of the conversation than it would have been the fact that the Flames lost on home ice to the Edmonton Oilers.
But they still lost, and they still
Yeah, I
had
know.
chances. And
totally.
I think it's right now the Flames have $26.925 million in cap space for next season, and they have Mangiapane, Shillington, Tkachuk, Gaudreau to sign, let alone filling out the rest of the roster, because Branson's not signed, Zadorov's not signed. So I think I look at that and I go, you're gonna have, if you're gonna basically blow $20 million on two players, you're gonna have to find cap space elsewhere, because to fill out your roster.
Well, this is where I'm getting with Matthew Tkachuk. To me, this is the where the debate is, to me, was with Matthew. And take away how I'm feeling about him at this particular point in time. I can't personally, even at 100-point season, I can't justify him making $10 million. I don't see him as a $10 million player. I don't. Like, if I'll say this, I'll put my Canucks hat for a second. If Matthew Tkachuk is making $10 million, if I'm JT Miller, I'm like, okay, you're going to give Matthew $10 million? I was on a worse team and almost got 100 points. You're going to give me 10? Because I damn well deserve it. And if I was in the playoffs and I was playing against Evander Kane, I would have punched him in the face at least twice before he would have scored a goal. I promise you. So, like, sorry, like, it's just, JT Miller just would not have let Evander Kane roam around like that. I just don't see that at all. I just watch JT Miller play, not what happened. So this is the question, and this comes down to, again, what Matthew Tkachuk has all been about. And I know that there's the mercenary part, but this is why I posted that on the Twitter, because either you trade him now and see what you can get, you qualify him and you wait and see what happens next year, or you sign him in the long term. But to me, I think you have to have a serious look at trading him if you can get what you need. I think you have to have I think you need to look at that more than I want Calgary Flame fans want to admit.
What's the package that would make it worthwhile?
A top 4 defenseman, or a top 6 forward that is similar to the style of a Dylan Larkin or Yanni Gourde, who is fast and can play a 200-foot game and can get into the fabric of the game. If you can get a draft pick, right? But one of those have to be in that package. And I'm not saying just any top 6, but in the style of a Dylan. I'm not saying get Dylan Larkin, get Yanni Gourde, but a style of player like that, where if this game is on the line, this guy is going to be in the fabric of the game, and you can count on him to win. But you're not giving him away just for the sake of saving cap space. That's not what I'm saying. You have to get something for him. But I think that there's a reasonable argument to trade Matthew Tkachuk.
What do you think? What should the Flames do with Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk? Let us know. Follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network.